How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting, and welcome back to this fiasco. How to explain? Alright, so, you'll notice, obviously, this is a little bit of a late of a release. Well, honestly, I don't know how it happened, but I made it last recording. It was a fantastic episode. Lots of amazing stuff happened. I was in the process of editing it, and then realized that the game's audio just was not captured in any way. I have backup for my audio, because I always assume that's going to have a problem. But game audio has always been consistent with OBS, which is the recording system I use. It's pretty much the best one you can get, and it's free. However, for some reason, it just didn't capture any audio. And with so much voice acting being a part of it, obviously I can't make a video without that. So here we are again. I'm going to be replaying it. I'll try and, make this a great, it sadly isn't blind. I kind of know what I'm getting into, but I'm generally going to make this as enjoyable as possible, so bear with me on it. It's still very touching and interesting and dynamic things are going to happen, so I still have a lot to talk about, so I apologize. It is definitely something I should have double-checked. I could have easily checked it. It's on my screen. I just don't typically look at it because I've never had an issue before. So hopefully that won't happen again, but so far everything looks good. We're going to jump right back into it. Let's see. Last time we were here, we finally arrived in Ellendale, or something like that. Anyway, and we went on some sightseeing. We went to a museum with Zach and Liana about mind tricks and optical illusions. We talked to Kara, where we kind of explored, and she sold that book of children's stories that she found in the last ruin. I think we are about to go talk to Amy. I guess we went on our own little escapade, traveling around. We talked a little about the Heroes of Asaria. Oh yeah, that's right. Someone brought up. So during the Heroes of Asaria, there's the billboard of all of the heroes, and one of the heroes in the top left corner, he was the Ice Mage, who was a mage knight as well. One of the coolest guys. As a matter of fact, it was one I thought looked the most interesting. I thought was really cool. I totally blocked his face with my own dumb face. And I even blocked his face in the thumbnail for the video. So I'm going to put that here. As long as I remember to do this later. Please remember. But yeah, so we're going to, here's what he looks like. And just so we kind of have an understanding. Because apparently we've already run into one person. I think we've run into the second one. I imagine these heroes are going to at least be referenced, if not directly confronted. So we should probably at least be aware of how they look. So thank you for those who pointed that out. I don't want to be holding us back in that regard. All right, so let's just jump right back into it because we're going to go catch up with Amy and we're going to see what she's found in the library. After entering the library, I spot Amelia at a secluded table surrounded by a mountain of books. She doesn't hear me approach. Hey, Amy.
Hello.
She doesn't look up from her textbook. Did you make any progress? Finally, she looks up at me.
Yes, I did.
Okay, audio's working. Just double checking. She gestures towards the books around her.
All of these texts include data on the 100 floating isles. I have spent the afternoon gathering and analyzing all of that information.
Nice. Wait, did you say floating isles? Amy blinks.
Yes.
As in, they're hovering in the air.
Yes.
You don't seem surprised by this.
Of course not. The islands float due to the magical dispersion in this area. This is a natural phenomenon which has been around since the time of the ancients.
It's kind of interesting because it would seem super bizarre to us, but I mean, heck, we're living in a world right now of magic. It really isn't all that far-fetched if you, kind of take it all in that regard. I imagine it would have very interesting, effects on the land and, the people around it. Ooh, I just wondered, so we have Pangos who eat magical energy. That's what they live off of, which I can obviously find in nature. So are there animals that can do magic? I would assume so. We haven't really encountered anything like that, but I don't see why they wouldn't be evolved to use magic. That would be really interesting. Kind of in the Avatar Last Airbender world, they have the flying bison who can, effectively use what they call airbending, or the dragons, or was it the moles, the giant moles? And what was the one that's the thing that they watched Went from nature. Oh, the moon. That's what they wanted. The moon was what they watched to learn waterbending. Anyway, yeah. So I wonder if we'll ever encounter any other animals that actually actively use magic. That'd be really cool. Do people live on these islands?
No, it is not logical nor conducive for habitation. Most of the islands are far too small for colonization, and those which are large enough to hold a small population are not suited for civilization.
Yeah, so that's interesting. It's one of those few times where I've seen so far, which Ace Academy had this too, where the line is not quite paired up with the dialogue. But that's like, I mean, I think it's mostly because they do the dialogue, I think, after they write the script, and either they just didn't catch it, or it was an amendment they made after they'd already gotten this part of the script written, and they didn't feel it was too important. But yeah, so it makes sense. They're floating in the air, kind of hard to go get your groceries.
But because they have been mostly untouched, the Isles are still one of the most beautiful natural wonders of Isaria.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of places around here that are like, I would consider untouched. Maybe there's untouched meaning just simply uninhabited. Okay, but if no one lives in the Isles, then why are you studying them?
It is highly likely that the Wind Temple was built upon one of those isles. Based on my hypothesis, the temple would be built on the site of the highest concentration of energy.
Seems it would be hard to build up there, but hey, once again, magic. Oh, Amy nods and begins to explain her scribbled notes. The rest of the group slowly trickles in, Zach and Leanna arriving first, and a short while later, Kara follows.
If my calculations are correct, the temple should be located in this region.
She opens one of the books to a map and points to a cluster of islands. That's great, but we still have a problem. The islands are floating. How are we supposed to get up there?
Wind magic would solve that predicament.
Ah, well, that's convenient. Everyone focuses on Leanna.
That's true. While I can use wind magic to jump from isle to isle, it's impossible for me to manipulate enough energy to be able to float everyone.
And this is an interesting thought. Well, don't we have, like, oodles of energy? Like, maybe we can somehow prove a catalyst of some kind.
I could float myself and perhaps assist one other person.
Obviously, that second person would be him.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm liking the sound of this already. Zach gestures to me. Makes sense. I'm the only person who can absorb the energy.
What about the rest of us?
Don't worry, Kara. I'll bring you back some souvenirs from the temple. Kara laughs.
I appreciate that, but we should still be close by. The least we can do is keep watch.
We can set up at the edge of the first isle and wait for their return.
Kara nods.
That sounds good to me.
Perfect.
There's still some distance for us to travel to reach the Isles. We can cross that distance as a group and split up from there.
Yes, but tomorrow. It's already growing dark, so we should rest tonight.
Ah, sounds like a plan.
Let's go find an inn then.
Once in agreement, we help Amy clean up and return to the streets. Now that the sun is set, the cold sweeps through my clothes and chills my skin. A shiver crawls down my spine. You know, it might be good while you're in a city to, I don't know, grab a sweater or something. Leanna blows on her hands.
The change in temperature is really apparent without the sun.
Amy glances at Leanna.
If you are cold, perhaps we should inquire whether the Flushed Mermaid has any rooms. Their rooms are more luxurious than the inns we may be used to, but there is a fireplace in each room. I do believe they provide heat stones we may request to slip in our beds, should the blankets be insufficient.
Just thinking about that makes me feel like relaxed. Like I've never been to a like warmed bed, like a bed that's been pre-warmed on a cold night. That sounds wonderful.
Plus, their hot springs are open for guest usage.
Oh no. Kara perks up.
Did you just say hot springs?
Yes, that is
You had me at hot springs. Let's go there.
She begins by pushing Amy in a random direction.
This is the incorrect way. The inn is towards the west.
Oops. To the west.
Alright, here we go. Kara hurries Amy towards the west and the rest of us follow along. Here come the classic tropes, right? Our group checks into the Flushed Mermaid. The first thing we do is make a reservation at the hot springs. Fortunately, their availabilities for the men and women's hot springs are at the same time. After we complete our reservations, we receive our keys to the rooms and go upstairs to get ready. Amy was right when she said the Flushed Mermaid had nice rooms. These are a lot more elegant and grand than the other ones we stayed in. It's also very green. Not that I am complaining, but very green. Zach and I enter the room. My eyes are drawn to the pale wooden dresser, gilded with clamshells and pearls. 2 couches sit before a flickering ivy fireplace. The mantle is streaked with silver waves and mermaid carved at the center. Dang, why don't we always stay in rooms like this?
They're expensive.
Uh-huh. So why are we staying in one now? I guess it just sounds really nice. Zach heads to his room as I find robes and towels in my closet. Once I'm ready, I meet up with Zach. We go downstairs and make our way to the men's side of the hot springs. Ooh, look at the stars, dang. Oddly, okay, I might be crazy. I kind of thought this last time. I'm thinking it again. It kind of reminds me of the hot springs from Ace Academy. I'll have to double check. Like, it looks very similar. I step down to the pool, shivering at the first touch of heat. Zach settles across from me, enveloped in a vapor cloud. I sink even lower in the water to cover my chest. The pongo plops next to me with a small splash. After a moment, he drifts back up to the surface like a fishing bobber. The pongo drifts in place, his mouth still covered underwater. A second later, he lets out a happy, bubbly noise. Boy. Aww. I smile and pat him on his head. This is nice, isn't it? The pongo beams up at me. He leaps out of the pool and then makes a game of jumping in and out of the water. So, get back, relax. What you gotta talk about, Zach? Zach doesn't even open his eyes. His arms are spread along the edge of the pool. How's life?
Fine.
Silence. Catch any scary bad guys recently? No response. I frown, sinking a little lower in the water. I notice a huge scar that ripples across Zach's chest. Yeah, that looks gnarly, dude. Cool scar. Where'd you get it? Zach finally opens his eyes. He stares me down. Okay, maybe I struck a nerve. Never mind. Zach turns away. Man, this obviously isn't going anywhere. Might as well just enjoy the hot springs and stop trying to get him to talk. I close my eyes and try to brush off the awkward conversation. Everything is so quiet. Too quiet. I don't even hear the pongo splashing around. I open my eyes and realize he's not there. Hey, where's the pongo? Zach looks around. The pongo's nowhere in sight. The pongo is constantly running off. Aren't you curious where he goes?
No.
If he's not hanging around with me, he's usually with Amy. For science. Zach arches an eyebrow.
And?
We should investigate for science. Dude, he totally went off to the girl's side.
I don't think so.
We should double check, just to be sure. You know, we don't want to be wrong about this.
Nah.
See, okay. I struggled here too, because here's the thing. Okay, this is where I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit and tell you exactly what I have. See, here's the thing. It's a creepy thing to do. I don't want to do it as a person. But I'll tell you that you just kind of pass it and just kind of move on if you don't do anything. And so I know that there's going to be something that happens. I should just be a normal person. Okay, I'm gonna just do what I did last time, because I'm terrified of what will happen if I don't. I'm like really scared. Like, I don't know if it'll actually change anything, but like I'm terrified it will. I also kind of want to see though. Oh, this is a tough choice. Alright, well. Alright. If I can convince him to come with me, maybe we'll try it. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself for this. I do not condone this in any way in real life. It's a terrible precedent. Screw it. Don't you want to see Kara in a towel? Don't you want to see Kara in nothing but a towel? Zach freezes, his eyes get wide. He crosses his arms and turns away, but not before I notice a slight shade of pink in his cheeks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
A slow smirk lights my face. My bad. I thought you might be interested. I mean, it's hard to resist the thought of a girl in a hot spring, right? Bouncing around, flushed skin from the heat, wearing nothing but a towel. Oh, I feel dirty. Or maybe no towel at all. Zach quickly clears his throat.
Well, we'd be doing it for Pongo. right?
Oh, fetch! Oh, we're so gonna die. I grin. Of course.
And we're just trying to make sure the Pongo is okay. If we end up running into anything else, that isn't our intention at all.
Right! I nod. Zaka crosses his arms.
Then I suppose we can check this out, but only for a second.
Yes, sir. We're so dead. We're gonna get blasted with fire magic or something. We both make our way across the hot spring, and we eventually come across a massive wooden wall. Displayed here. Mist puffs up from behind it. A few crystal lamps are lined overhead, but it's so dark their golden glow can't quite penetrate it. We hear a loud splash, followed by a bunch of girls squealing. We can't seem to make out any words. My heart's racing already too. My heart race starts to pick up. We have to make it over. I make a move for the wall, but Zach grabs my shoulder.
No, this way.
Huh? Why?
There's a darker spot over there. Less risk of being seen if a guard comes this way.
My eyes follow the shadowy spot he's pointing out. I blink in surprise. I haven't even noticed it before. It's a good thing I have a mercenary on my side for noble causes like this. Noble cause. Zach inspects the wall as if analyzing his best way over.
Boost me up.
Why you? I cut my palms together, give him a push. He jumps with one smooth motion and manages to grab the wall. I get the feeling this isn't his first time scaling a wall. On the top, he extends his hand down that I might be able to reach by jumping, and he pulls me up. When I've just about scaled the wall, we hear footsteps to see the shadow of a guard approaching.
Get in, quick!
Fetch! Oh, fetch! Oh, fetch! We dive into the other side of the wall. My heart starts racing again. Did we actually make it? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, yeah. My first time went through, I did the noble route. It just ended, so bonus points. We both slip into the hot spring and swim over slowly so as not to make any noise or splash. Soon we hear familiar voices. Oh dear.
Oh, Leanna, that feels so good.
Oh, what have I gotten myself into? My heart leaps in my throat as I try to peek for a closer look. Zach pulls me back and points to one of the larger rock formations. This is already going so much like the one in Ace Academy. His face is bright red as we swim over, but I can't tell if it's from the heat or what we just heard. Leanna giggles.
Do you like that?
Gosh, darn it. Darn you writers!
Yes, so much.
Oh gosh. Oh, cute! And we're in so much trouble. Oh my gosh. We settle behind the rocks to peek over to be greeted with a perfect view. It's almost as if the person who designed this hot spring knew exactly what these rocks would be used for and gave us her blessing. Thank you, hot spring architect. You are the real hero here. My gosh, stupid. This is stupid. The first thing I see is a Pongo splashing around. A sneaky little Pongo. Maybe ditch just for the girls.
Boy, boy.
All right, now it's my turn to wash your back. Turn around.
Okay.
I like the sound of this. My eyes follow the voices and... Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Kara!
Oh, fetch, run! My heart stumbles to a halt. Oh, no! Oh, no! You two be kind. Kara steps by Leanna, her arms wrap around Leanna with her hands resting on Leanna's breasts. This does not look like washing back to me. Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, no. Kara looks surprised before a feline grin slides across her face. Oh, what have I done? What is this?
I was definitely not expecting that sort of reaction from a mage knight.
Oh my gosh.
Huh? What?
Oh no. Leanna glances down. It takes her a second to register what's happening to her. Her face goes from sunset pink to a murderous scarlet.
Kara!
Oh gosh. Oh. You get what you came for! Kara laughs. Leanna squirms a little.
How could you do that?
Kara then giggles and nuzzles her face between Leanna's neck and shoulder.
Are you really surprised?
Oh, fetch. Leanna twists away from her, crossing her arms to hide her chest.
You can't just...
She sputters as words escape her. We should not be looking at this! I agree that my eyes have been blessed, but we need to get out now before we... My face burns with a searing blush. We shouldn't be watching them like this.
Yeah, you're right.
But we continue to stare, wide-eyed. Oh no, we're so dead.
It is most perplexing that Leanna continues to claim disinterest in Kara's actions, even though her body language and audible responses are that of positive stimulation.
I thought Leanna liked me. Uh-oh. I might have some competition over here.
Amelia!
Leanna's face turns into an even brighter shade of crimson.
That's not true!
Wait, what? Continues to deny Kara's advances? How many times have we missed out?
Boy?
The Pongo bobs adjusts his eyes above the surface, staring in our direction. Oh, fetch! His voice is bubbly and muffled from being underwater. Oh no. He blinks. Oh no. Can he see us?
Boy!
The Pongo jumps and lands on the rock where we're hiding behind and bounces up and down the huge smile. Run!
Boy! Boy!
Evacuate! Pongo, no, shh!
Get your Pongo under control!
I'm trying, dang it!
What's going on?
Fetch! Run! Pongo leaps higher and higher in the air. He reminds me of an excited little dog running up to greet you after a long day of heart. Go, 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 go! Leanna reaches for a towel.
Is someone there?
Crap, what do we do? Meow! I jerk my head up again. That was the most unconvincing cat sound I've ever heard. Slippered smile slides across Kara's face. She plants her hands on her hip.
Zach, is that you?
Good luck, soldier.
No?
Kara laughs out loud.
Oh, this is gold.
No! No, we run! Dude, has that ever worked for you before in your life?
Once.
What? How is that even possible?
I realized the guy was deaf afterwards.
The Pongo bounces up and down and goes crazy with happiness.
I hear more than one voice.
Bitch, I'm screwed too! Quick, give me a knife or a gun. Just end it now! Leanna looks horrified. She hauls herself out of the water and wraps a towel tight around herself. Stumbling, she lunges for the pile of fluffy towels, folds it off to the side, and starts cloaking them around herself. The Pongo leaps off the rock and straight into my arms. You see, was it worth it? Was it worth it? I don't think so. I let out a deep exhale. The gig is up. I stand and Zach begrudgingly does the same. The Pongo leaps onto my shoulder and snuggles against my cheek. Man, he's so sweet. How can I stay angry? Oh, maybe because I die here tonight. Amelia cocks her head.
It is quite surprising to find you two occupying the same hot spring as us. After all, this is the woman's side, and you both are men.
Yeah, I'm gonna die. My face goes hot. Oh, what? It is. We are obviously lost. Kara giggles.
What a terrible excuse.
The Pongo! Nana somehow successfully swallowed herself in at least 10 towels. She reminds me of a fluffy marshmallow.
You guys!
One of the towels falls over her face. She hops and shoves it back.
You guys can't just come over here!
Kara winks.
Yeah, if you wanted to hang out, you should have just said so.
Huh?
Huh? Okay, what? Kara grabs at our arm and yanks us into out of the bushes. Really? No! It's a trap! It's a trap! Leanna looks mortified. Oh no.
What?
What? Wait, what? I've gone from, like, freaking out to I'm not sure what's about to happen. She grabs even more towels. I'm not sure which part of herself she's trying to cover at this point. Kara leads us into the water and smiles. Oh no.
We don't mind. Right, Amy?
Amelia barely registers Kara's comment.
The activities of the rest of the team do not concern me lest it disturbs my research.
Not even in your current state. Okay, maybe. Research? Pongo, maybe? Amy nods. She lifts her hands and makes some of the water rise, shaping into little dolphins. Ooh. Dang. The Pongo blinks curiously. He jumps down from my shoulder and onto a small rock to investigate. She smiles and waves her hand. The tiny dolphins dive in and out of the water. The Pongo's eyes sparkle with wonder. She looks pleased with herself, but I have no idea what the heck she's trying to research. Kara slides in and bumps Zach with her hip, making him jump. Oh boy.
So, did you like what you saw earlier?
He turns away and crosses his arms, but his cheeks turn slightly pink.
I saw nothing.
Kara's smile turns wicked.
Oh, really? What a shame. Well, now that you're here, you might as well make yourself useful. I need my back washed, please.
Oh my gosh. Zach's gonna die.
But Leanna already did.
I thought you didn't see anything.
You idiot, Zach. Zach shuts up his face and becomes red. Kara grins and hands him a loofah. She swims over to his side so she can prop herself up and relax as she sets Zach to work. You know, there was a guard on the other side. Will there be a guard on this side? Or is that typical, like, guys are untrustworthy, which we've totally proven, by the way. I swim to one of the edges. With the Pongo and Amy having fun, Zach and Kara doing their own business. There's only one person left. Hey, where'd Liana go? Huh? I turn around, but there's nothing there except for a giant pile of towels as tall as a human. This girl. Liana, is that you under there?
No.
The towels shiver a bit, and what I'm guessing is Liana shifting around from underneath. Why are you buried under all those towels?
It's just very cold out here.
Cold?
Yes.
In the hot springs.
That's right.
Let's see. I give it 20 seconds before it gets too hot. I said right there. You're gonna start boiling being in a hot spring with so many towels wrapped around you.
I'll be just fine, thank you very much.
I shrug. Alright, if you say so. Suddenly the mountain of towels starts unraveling one of its layers, then the other, and another. Finally, I see Liana with just one towel on.
Okay, maybe it was a bit warm in there.
I chuckle. She comes over and takes a seat on the edge of the spring, letting her legs dangle in the water, her face still flushed. I have a feeling it's not just from the heat. Oh, you think? Good, we got a genius here, apparently. You know, all things considered, I think your wolf's den armor was more revealing than this. Liana blinks at me and then she laughs.
You might be right.
Although I do have a confession. She looks at me curiously.
What is it?
Even with the stack of towels, I saw something just now that I didn't see when you were wearing the other outfit. Your ankles. Liana burst out laughing.
Oh no! How embarrassing! I feel so exposed!
Oh, I'm glad she's really taking this in stride, considering how creepy this really well was. I see. What is it to say? Like it's creepy unless it's appreciated and it's cute. it's like I don't know. I've had friends who have been like what they effectively is stalked by guys, but the guys are just trying to be nice. You know, like giving gifts, giving compliments, wanting to go on dates with them. But if there's no mutual attraction or even like mutual just kind of friendliness there, it comes off really creepy. Climbing over a fence into the restricted girls section and spying on people really just is kind of creepy to begin with. But the problem is, we're an anime. So it's like perfectly fine. She laughs again. The tension from before eases. We continue to chat for a while longer. Kara continues to tease Zach, who stubbornly pretends not to notice. Amy conjures little tricks in the water to the delight of Pongo. Well, this is awesome. Once it gets close to the end of our reservation time, Zach and I slip back to the men's hot spring so we don't end up in trouble. After our time in the hot spring, we change back to our clothes and meet at the Flush Mermaid's Inn to have a late night snack. Alright, I officially approve of the fact that I lost the audio from last time, because remember, I tried to be the gallant, normal person. I didn't see any of that. To be fair, like I said, super creepy what we did. Super not okay. But it worked out really well, and it was perfect for the fact that this is a visual novel. I need to remember that this is a visual novel, it's not real life. That's the whole point of playing a game like this, it's not truly real. Especially when I don't get to have a lot of direction on the type of character I'm playing. Like, in a game where your choices would actually determine, like, the end result of your character, like the potential ending you get, the girl you're trying to get with, it might be something I would actually be a lot more cautious about. But because this is more of just trying to tell a story, I'm going to probably play it a little more bold. Now, let's see. We've got some time left. I'm not sure if we're going to get as far as the last one, because that scene took forever. It was wonderful, but it might mean we don't get quite to the point that I thought we would this episode. But I guess that just means we have a lot more to explore next time. After our time is up in the hot spring, we change back into our clothes and meet up at the Flushed Mermaid's Inn to have a late night snack. We gather around the mother of pearl table, flecked with bits of coral. The chairs out here are more comfortable than the wooden ones I've gotten used to. The servers bring us each a scoop of ice cream. Liana grins and digs in.
Wow, this is delicious!
Sounds awesome.
What kind do you have?
I could go for some ice cream right now.
Chocolate.
Kara's expression turns wicked.
Looks good. Mind if I try?
Liana smiles.
Not at all.
She goes to the side to slide over her bowl, but instead Kara moves on in the spoon of ice cream that Leanna's holding and eats directly from it.
Kara!
Yep, you're right. It's delicious.
Okay, I really do get the feeling that they really just become really good friends, and Kara's just a very, like, flamboyant friend. Like, you know, she's just very outgoing and loves getting in personal space, and just like, there's just people who are just like that. But there is almost like tiny little sparks between these two. It almost makes me wonder if they've been shipped and or if there's fan fiction. I will have to look, because there does seem to be a bit of a bond between the two of them. I'm just guessing that they're kind of, like, based on their other interactions, that they just wouldn't be interested in that kind of relationship. Just saying that there was potential there, especially after that last scene in the hot spring. Kara giggles and winks. Zach stares at the scene. Kara seems to feel a stare because she turns to face him.
What's wrong? Want me to lick yours, too?
Oh gosh. Oh, the context. Oh, the context. Kara is so bad at these. Like, if we just isolate this one line, it would sound freaking ridiculous. Zach chokes on his ice cream as his face becomes completely red.
Oh, wait, never mind. We both got the same flavor.
She grins deviously.
I'm glad we have the same tastes.
She's always putting a spin on it. Zach mumbles something incoherent. After we're done with our snack, we all decide to turn in for the night. We make our way towards the staircase to our bedrooms. On the way upstairs, Zach spots a fancy vase.
Hey, Leanna, what's that?
Leanna looks.
What? You mean that?
She suddenly pauses, pink creeping into her cheeks. Oh, right. It was the illusions. The stupid illusions. Zach, drop it already.
Sorry, I didn't catch what you just said. What is that?
She frowns.
It's Two Faces.
I let out a little groan. Not this again. Kara and Amelia blink in confusion.
Leanna, is it not clear that the object to which Zack is referring is a vase?
I know what I saw.
Zach smirks triumphantly as Leanna crosses her arms and pouts. Obviously, this isn't the same, Leanna. Kara looks from Zach to Leanna and then shakes her head.
I'm not even going to ask.
It's not even worth explaining. That's for the best. We hike up the stairs and separate into our rooms.
Boy.
I glance down. Huh? You want to stay with us, Pongo? The Pongo perks up.
Boy.
Aww. I open the door a little wider and he bounces into the room. The wind howls outside and I automatically step closer to the fireplace. Didn't Amy say something about slipping hot stones into our beds if we were cold? But Zach's already rolled away from me. By his heavy breathing, I can tell he's already asleep. I feel pretty relaxed too. I suppose that's the thing about hot springs. Helps you relax and get a good night's sleep. I crawl into my bed where the sheets are smooth and welcoming. The Pongo snuggles up next to me under the blankets. My eyelids feel heavy, and in only a few minutes I find myself drifting off into a deep sleep. Sunlight blasts through the window as it wakes me up from bright and early. I groan as I sit up in bed, rubbing the sleep from my eyes. I squint in the bed next to me. Zach's nowhere in sight. Guess he's an even earlier riser. After I'm dressed, the Pongo leaps onto my shoulder. Good morning. He lets out a little yawn.
Boy.
I want a Pongo. I want a Pongo so bad. It's pretty early, huh? The Pongo nods and snuggles against my neck, closing his eyes.
Boy.
We have a long day of travel ahead of us. I wonder if everyone's already downstairs. Probably. I open the door and step into the hall. As predicted, I find everyone already waiting for me downstairs.
Ready to go?
Absolutely. Yep, I have everything.
Great. Then let's get going.
We set off towards the floating aisles. With the bright sun in the sky, I barely feel the chill in the air. Seems like Leanna and the rest of the team are feeling much warmer, too. Maybe this is from the magic of the hot spring warming us from the inside. Either way, I'm not complaining. We walk in the air temple for a few hours. Lately, I've been getting used to all the traveling. But why is everything so far away from each other? I don't know, because you're in a freaking country. Things are just away from each other. That's something we kind of forget that, because we have, like, cars. But, like, just walking across town, this is a huge ordeal. I think here, if I try to walk to the other side of the city I live in, God, no, it'd probably take a couple hours. Like, well, maybe not that long, not if I was determined, but, like, it would take a while. And that's like just going across a city, let alone traveling between cities. And how did people do it back in the day?
We made it!
I like to think it's a crazy thing about it because like I had ancestors who moved over from England back in like the 1820s, 1830s. They landed in Canada. They were really poor, but they're trying to find a new life for themselves. They landed in Canada, and they walked down from Canada to the United States, and then they grabbed a hand cart. They didn't even have enough money for a wagon. They just had a hand-push cart, threw all their belongings into it, and they walked into the West, which is where I'm from. Like, I grew up out west, like Idaho, Utah area. Like, the fact that they walked across the, it's got, I think it's like 1,500 miles. How many is that kilometers? I can't remember. I wish I could do the conversion for you off the top of my head, but I just cannot. But it's a long way. And they had to do it in like one summer. Like, they have to start in early spring and have to finish before like mid-fall, because if they get caught in the Rockies in the winter, they'll die. And it's just insane that people could actually do that. Like, I can't even imagine. Alright, so anyway, we made it. Huh? We did?
Yep. Look.
I glance to where Leanna's pointing and my mouth drops open. There are hundreds of floating islands sprawled across the sky. Hearing Amelia tell about them was one thing, but actually seeing them in person...
I've never seen anything like it.
Dang, yeah, I know.
Me neither.
Even Zach looks impressed. All the isles are different shapes and sizes, just big enough for maybe a few people to stand on. The wind tosses the glistening grass from side to side. I can make out clusters of different flowers peppering some of the islands. Pale purples and fluffy magentas.
Just as I expected. The temple should be here.
Where exactly? Amelia points above the isles up into the clouds, naturally.
You and Liana will find the air temple at the highest floating isle.
Oh boy. It's a good thing I'm not scared of heights. I'm terrified. Well, okay, to be fair, I'm not terrified of heights. It's more about the illusion of comfort. Like on a ride like a roller coaster, it's amazing what a seatbelt will do. There have been a few rides I've ridden on that don't require seatbelts but do make you spin quickly, and those freak me out. But having a seatbelt, I feel like I can take on anything. Same thing with I had an interesting experience with the Grand Canyon when I was in high school. We visited the Grand Canyon. Beautiful place. Freaking, like, it's huge. There's a reason why it's considered a wonder of the world. Like, it's jaw-dropping to see in person. But we walked around, and there's a point where we went to it where there was there's this kind of guardrail. Not pretty simple, just like a iron bar kind of wandering across the edge of a cliff. And I went right up to the bar, and I was having a blast, like looking around, enjoying the sights, and just looking at everything, looking at the wildlife and such. It's really, really cool. Then we went to a different location, and we went to like the same canyon, just a different part of the canyon, but there was no barrier. It was just like dirt path and then cliff. And I got freaked out. Like about 10 feet away from the edge, I started getting like, my stomach started to clench. About 5 feet from the edge, I started getting a little like antsy. I got about a foot away from the edge, and I like tried to look down, and my head started to go all like loopy and feel like it had like vertigo, like I was already falling. And it's amazing because like it's not like the handrail really was that much safer. Like, not really. It had a big gap underneath it. There was no fencing or any kind. Like maybe something I could hold on to. But in my mind, that made it safe, and that made all the difference. Heights when there's no barrier like that freak me out. Like even I did a job a while ago where I was cleaning moss off of a roof for somebody, and that scared the crap out of me because I was terrified I was going to slip and fall. Granted, there was a good chance of that, but like it gets to the point where I would call myself under like that I'm afraid of heights. But it's not just heights in general. Like a plane doesn't freak me out at all. I feel safe in a plane. I've got a seatbelt on. I'm in a tube. I feel safe. Standing on the edge of a cliff, do not feel safe. I want to get away from it.
We'll set up here while you guys go do your thing.
Okay, sure, Zach. We'll go do our thing.
Good luck.
Sure, thank you, I guess. Leanna and I nod.
Off we go then.
Yay! Off we go. But I think we're going to have to end here. Like, I think this is really going to be... Yeah, I think we should save this next part for entirety. That's another blessing I have from this being a post recording. It's going to be a shorter recording this episode, but I think the next part we're going to want in a chunk, because if I go too much further into this, I'm not going to want to stop. It won't be very it won't flow as well. So I think we're going to have to leave this episode a little shorter, but focus on the hot springs, especially considering the odd release time of this one, just because it's been a crazy week and things kind of got out of hand. But hey, better late than never, right? So thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I know it's a strange time for it to come out, but don't worry, on Wednesday we'll be right back into this again, and you'll get to see what the next part has in store. It's freaking awesome, and we're going to dive into the area I haven't touched yet, because I think we have half an episode where I'll know where we're going, and then the other half where I have no clue what's going to happen. So I'm excited to give it a shot. I'm excited to share this journey with you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Thank you so much for enjoying this wonderful, crazy adventure in the hot spring. And I hope that you come back next week. So until the next video you watch with me, or whatever to see me in next, I'll see you there.